Welcome to the Rude Dude Cast. Rude Cast!
Episode 180 of the Ridiculous.
There it
It's
is.
your boy BMT, Dr. Dan Man Maronius, Colonius, Dr. Showstopper. We call him here wearing his fine new Adidas hat that I've never seen him wear before.
This is like 4 years old. I just don't wear it a lot because on camera it shows up like antimatter. It
looks like orange. It surely does.
Yeah, it really doesn't look like this in real life. In real life, it's about the color of blood.
Okay, well, that's crazy. Welcome to the Rudu Cast, everybody. Like we said, this is episode 180. We appreciate you being here, finding us on Facebook.com/The Rudu Cast, Twitter, Instagram at Rudu Cast. I probably just fucked it up again. We always fuck it up. We're the worst at this sort of stuff. You'd think by episode 180 we'd figure out what the hell our handles were.
I could do it. I'm good at it.
Yet. Huh?
I know our
Twitter,
handles.
I did it backwards today. I usually nail it.
It's
Twitter,
like this.
Instagram,
This is the
at
cadence.
Rudu
This
Cast.
is the cadence in the proper order. Facebook.com/RudeDudeCast, Twitter and Instagram at The RudeDudeCast, and then you go from there.
And then you find us every Wednesday, or almost every Wednesday, at around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/man_Daronius. That's MAN_DARRONIOUS. Man Daronius. So yes, guys, we are here every week or so talking about the best and the worst of comic books, video games, horror movies, regular movies, pro wrestling, and current events. Before we get going into this week's show, and before we mind numb you into a lot of news updates since our last episode 2 weeks ago. Last week we took a break. I want to touch on this. We did not have a show last week because of current events happening in our country and all around the world. As you know, unless you're living under a fucking rock,
Imagine not knowing.
I'm sure there's some fucking idiot who does not know. So with the murder of George Floyd by the Minneapolis Police Department, it has struck a nerve, and everybody is finally just cracked, rightfully so. And there has been tons of protesting, tons of peaceful protesting, rioting, and looting, all not directed to it, all with each other, but things have been happening, along with COVID still happening in this crazy 2020. We felt like it was not the right time to have an episode last week, unless we were going to talk about what's going on. And we're not experts about what's going on. We're two white dudes who grew up in the suburbs who are privileged for those reasons. And now is a great time for you to stop and listen to people of color, people who are educated, and educate yourself. This is real life thing, and probably more younger people listening to this than they need to hear this, because I feel like the younger generation understands what's going on right now. But educate yourself. In this form of the Rudu Cast, we are a bunch of assholes. We say stupid shit, but we have no room for racism, homophobia, transphobia, any sort of bullying or anything like that. Trolling, just not going to happen. We have moderators. We got Dan. We're just not going to take it, especially on Dan's Twitch channel. This is supposed to be for fun, okay? So I want everybody to remember that and, really take a look and see that the world is changing for the better right now. It might seem scary. You might not know what's going on. You might ignore the news. You might not, you might get your news in the wrong places. Just, read, check out everything, Don't be afraid to talk to people. You could even reach out to us personally, and we'll talk to you about what's going on. If you want more information, we surely can send it to you.
Yeah. Here's actually, in fact, if you're in the chat right now, here's actually two things you can check out. Where the fuck is it? Where's the first one? Oh no, it's fucked. Well, anyway, there's at least one link right there that actually, my buddy sent me this list Well, it's not a list. What it is, it's for PC. People have PCs, play video games, and there's this bundle that got put together. It's over 1,000 games. Minimum donation of $5, but you can pay. It's donate what you want, dude. And there's a few good really games on there. But dude, it's over $7,000, almost $8,000 value. 1,400 games are part of it, and all proceeds donated go towards the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and the Community Bail Fund. So it's a fucking insane deal. 1,400 games for $5 or whatever else, or whatever
That's
more
great.
than that you want to donate.
Perfect for our listeners and our viewers on this
So do
platform. Directly, something that you guys would be interested in. That's not just like that curbs to your interest, and you can also learn something
right
now. But that's all I'll say on that. I don't think I need to preach to you. I'm no one to preach. Be active. If you're silent, you are not helping the situation. You should use
definitely
your
not.
Voice.
Definitely
use
not.
your voice, even if it's just donating money, sharing links, anything that you could do.
And if
would
you're
be great,
like he said, even if you're not comfortable going on social media and talking about it a fuckload and stuff like that, then there's other ways that you can support it without having to do it.
You don't have to go. You don't have to go to a protest. I've been to protests. I've been to 3 protests now. All of them been peaceful. Last night,
that's great.
Was huge. There was thousands of people there in a town where a bunch of racist gang members and KKK members showed up.
Are you kidding me?
2 days earlier, yes. And so I can see why you might be scared, especially when you see on TV the cops are just fucking shooting people like they're fucking, at a amusement park,
sure.
With tear gas and all this other shit. So yes, there are other ways to help. And
absolutely.
If you're not sure, we'll send someone in the chat. And even just educating yourself is a major step, because the reason why this happens and our country's so messed up is because our country is uneducated in a lot of the things. It's why
absolutely.
We're behind. Compared to other countries, we're not as great as our country tries to tell us we are, and it's up to our generation and the generations below us. Because I'm 34 at this point, so I'm in that peak, and below you guys, you have to get out there and you have to vote.
Step up, Zoomers.
Yeah, you have to vote. Zoomers. Yeah, you have to vote. You have to be active, and it takes work. It's not going to just it's not easy, but there are definitely people there who make it easier. With that being said, let's move on to the show. Episode 180 of the Rude Dude Cast.
180, man.
Dude, we are flying into it. It is June. It is officially summer. It is hot. When you were a kid, and I don't know, every school's a little bit different. I know in the New York area, school ended like at the ass end of June. I know in some states it ends in like early June, but to me, June 1st was always the beginning of summer. Even though we were still stuck in school, I was already in summer mode.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. For me, yeah.
By July 4th, once July 4th happens, summer's over. But yeah, it's hot as balls here in New York. It's getting hot. I got my tank top on. I got my AC off because we're.
Oh fuck! I gotta turn my AC off. Shit.
I thought you got that sweet fucking plug-in.
Okay, ready? Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rude Dude Cast episode. I'm just kidding. We gotta start.
I thought you got a plug-in.
I did, but it's fucked up. It doesn't work. It does work, but my voice bugs the fuck out whenever I turn it on.
I didn't hear any bugging.
When? Oh no. Well,
when you've used it.
So when I use it while the air conditioner's on, it glitches out. It starts getting really staticky and fucked up. Also, what's up? Hello, chat. AJ Capone. What's up, the Mike? My good buddies in chat. How's everybody doing today?
So somebody's got swamp ass in the chat.
Yeah, Capone's got swamp ass.
Yesterday, Capone. Yesterday, I went to this march, this protest, and I wore summer breathable clothes, and you got a mask on too, and fucking. Yeah. So I thought we were marching through this town. We marched to another town and went to an on ramp of the Long Island Expressway, and had to walk back. And it was like 80 degrees, and I walked 7 miles yesterday, and my ass is chapped.
Oh no, not me.
My thighs meet the cotta, like the quaff of your.
The cotta.
The
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Where your butt cheek meets the top of your thighs.
Yeah.
Like that area
Damn.
into the ball grundle region, a little
Big-
chapped. So I wiped my ass with some witch hazel wipes last night. They were good for hemorrhoids.
Witch hazel.
They're like special wipes for hemorrhoids. Dude, I bought these wipes when we ran out of toilet paper and there was no more baby wipes. So I bought these wipes.
Oh my god, witch hazel! I'm still can't.
I bought
believe you
these
said
wipes
witch
by
hazel.
accident, dude. Dude, I bought these wipes by accident.
Dude, witch
I was at
hazel.
CVS. There was no baby wipes left, and there was no toilet paper. So I grabbed these thinking they were just purple baby wipes because they were in a purple pack. I didn't realize they were preparation H, like hemorrhoidal, like wipes.
Oh
Dude,
my
these things are
God.
great. These things are great.
Damn.
It stings a little bit if you're like chapped, but it helps you out quick.
That's crazy. Also, I'd just like to say real quick, it's a Drick. Thanks for the follow. I saw that earlier. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Dude, I ordered once like the COVID went down and like toilet paper and wet wipes kind of disappeared from everywhere. That was kind of something I realized early on, is that just because wet wipes aren't there on the shelves, there's usually still baby wipes, and so you could just use those because fuck babies. They're not gonna remember having their ass wiped by printer paper. I will, so I'm gonna take the baby wipes and use those.
I told you the story that I wiped my ass with paper before.
Yeah, that's rough.
I wiped my ass with paper. I wiped my ass with leaves. I wiped my ass with my sock. I wiped my ass with a shirt. I think I had cargo shorts, and I'm pretty sure I ripped the cargo part off and wiped my ass with that once. These are survivalist things.
Yeah.
That's totally like Survivor Man status or Bear Grylls.
You got it. AJ says don't flush wipes, but you can do flushable wipes. I've never had a problem with flushable wipes.
Yes. But I do know from friends who are plumbers and work in construction that flushable wipes aren't technically that flushable.
Really? I've never had a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
They-
so this is
No,
the
no,
thing.
they fuck up the greater good. They're not like you
Okay.
might not be having a problem, but if we're all using flushable wipes, they don't break down like toilet paper.
Oh. All right. So here's the thing. I don't know if this helps the cause,
Also,
but
you have to use less of them. You use less of it.
yeah.
You use like one or two wipes.
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
Yeah.
wipe, fold, maybe wipe again.
Yeah.
And
You
then-
get three
and then-
folds. Three folds
maybe,
max.
maybe, and then you get another. You're vegan now, so your folds might be different than my folds.
Well, so here's the thing. All right. Sometimes when you're vegan, you not only get the endless shits, but you also sometimes get endless wipes where you could just sit there and keep wiping for an hour and then it doesn't stop. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but sometimes you have less shit or more.
It's just messy. It's messier.
Messier. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. We can have these conversations. These are the conversations that need to be had.
I'm fine with it. Fine with it.
If we're not going to be talking about Black Lives Matter right now, then we're talking about shit. So,
Yeah.
So, dude, there's actually news this week. We went like weeks with no news.
Yeah, there's a lot of news this week. Fuck.
I got news. Okay, I'll start with books and then we'll move on from there because that's
Okay.
the most boring shit because nobody
Sure.
reads in this group.
Nobody reads
So-
books.
So if you could find this on Image Comic Stand and drop it in the chat for me. If I do it on my computer, it'll blow
I got
up.
it. What's up?
So my favorite writer, Ed Brubaker, he writes like pulp style comics.
What's a
which
book?
is funny
Mike says.
because it's called Pulp.
The
Ed
book is
Brubaker-
called Pulp.
It's called Pulp, Pulp. It's just announced. It comes out July 29th, so you have something to look forward to. It's going to be, I think, a one whole solid book. I don't think it's going to be a monthly thing. They were doing, this guy writes, your monthly comic books. And then
Pulp
sometimes he does-
OGN.
That's
Yep,
it.
that's it.
So.
Oh yeah, you sent me the link for this. It looks cool.
So Ed Brubaker, for people who don't know, he is a comic book writer. He wrote like one of the main arcs in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
He has written a lot of shit for Marvel, for Captain America. But so he has also.
Oh, he did like
was-
Kill or Be Killed. Okay.
Yeah, he's also the main writer on season 1 of Westworld.
Ooh.
So this is a gorgeous original graphic novel from best-selling creators of Kill or Be Killed, My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies, and Criminal, which is his big book, which is one of the best comic books I've ever read. Our friend Steve Lopen, who doesn't read anything, has a criminal tattoo because of how much that book meant to him.
Wow.
So Max Winters, a pulp writer in the 1930s New York, finds himself drawn into a story not unlike the tales he churns out at 5 cents a word. Tales of Wild West outlaw dispensing justice with a 6-gun. But will Max be able to do the same when he's pursued by actual bank robbers Nazi spies and enemies from his past. One part thriller, one part meditation on a life of violence. Pulp is unlike anything award-winning Brubaker and Phillips have done before. This celebration of pulp fiction set in a world on the brink is another must-have hardcover from one of the best comics' most acclaimed teams. Like Scorsese and De Niro, Brubaker and Phillips are unmatched masters of certain kind of storytelling. A new title from the sharpshooters behind Fatale and Criminal is reason enough to go on living. From Joe Hill, who wrote Lock and Key, which is a Netflix show right now and a very popular comic book. This will be out in Image Comics July 29th. The other book, that is Pulp. The other book that I'm currently reading was actually a Christmas gift that I finally got to.
Is that Keanu?
It's 150 pages. It's called For Your Consideration, Keanu Reeves by Larissa Zagiris and Kitty Coran. This book is fun. It's the perfect bathroom book. I can pick it up, read a chapter, or keep it going, and let it go. I was reading it on the beach the other day. It's short. Like I'm already almost done with it. But it's basically about how our generation, the generation perfectly not millennial and not, Gen X. Yeah.
Well, we're millennials, me and you.
Right.
Gen X would be
they
people
put
that
us-
are like late 30s to 40s to 50s.
Okay, so they put us in like a middle of that.
Yeah.
If you were 32 to 34, they call you like the lost generation. So
That's just false, though. Like I know there's that perception, but we're very firmly millennials.
yeah, I know. So this book is awesome. It's about Keanu Reeves, his career, how he is a great actor but looked at as like an idiot, and like just crazy facts about Keanu Reeves. And I just thought it was really, really funny. Kind of how he got into acting. It's very, very, tongue in cheek. It's very, serious. There's also, just really just like some funny ass things about here that you would never,
think about him.
Yeah. Like
Today's gonna be a big Keanu day, isn't it?
oh, it is because I'm coming up with Keanu news right after this also. He's got his own motorcycle company.
Get the
They
fuck
wanted him
out
to
of
change
here.
his- They wanted him to change his name to Casey Reeves when he first started. He also plays bass in a band, but also says he is the worst bass player ever. He's been seen just hanging out, laying on the ground next to a homeless man, listening to his story. Like this dude's just got like a really interesting life. One time, people broke into his property, and he found them in his backyards. And instead of calling the cops, he just had a beer with them. Like the dude is just super chill. And it's just talking about his career and how he's part Asian and how he wasn't going to take the role of the Matrix. He was actually offered to everybody
Smith.
except him. Yeah. So I would check it out for your consideration. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I would give it a look.
He's the
And
man.
You know what's fun? We were talking about this. I have not seen all of through John Wick 1 or any other John Wicks.
I haven't seen a
started
single John Wick.
Dude, I started it. It's heavy. It's like everybody knows it's about his dog getting murdered and him going on like revenge and like other things. But I started it and for some reason I didn't finish it. I think it was late at night. And after that, I've never done it. So maybe we should do like a watch along or something. Or
The mic says John Wick 1 is worth it. The other one's eh. But the Netflix show seems promising. There's a Netflix show in the works. I didn't know that.
Netflix show coming.
Did not know
dude,
that. Is
someone just
Keanu
dropped
in
news.
it, or did they cast
No,
like
he's definitely
someone?
not in it.
Yeah, I mean, how could it not? How could he not be though?
He doesn't seem like the type of guy who would like want to get roped into like a TV show filming.
Not based on John Wick, based on the universe. Okay, got it. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So,
of the assassins in the hotel chain. Okay, all right. So it's
Gotcha.
just it's kind of like a world building series. That's cool.
So let's drop this. So also out of books we had Pulp and we have For Your Consideration Keanu Reeves. I would check it out. It's short. If you don't like to read, it's 150 pages. That's like basically what like a long article on IGN is like. So think of it that way, or anything like that. If you have a low attention span. So in other Keanu Reeves news, we finally have gotten a trailer for Bill and Ted Face the Music. This movie's been talked about for a long, long time. It stars, obviously, Keanu Reeves, Alex Winter, who is Bill or Ted. I always fucking confuse it. Alex Winter lives right by where me and Dan live. I've seen him at our local Alamo Draft House. That's pretty cool. He's presented the Lost Boys there. So Samara Weaving, who I love, she is not Margot Robbie. She looks like Margot Robbie, but I think she might be funnier than Margot Robbie. I don't know if she's hotter than Margot Robbie, but they look the same. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, she's in that movie Ready or Not that just came out. She's also in The Babysitter. So Samara Weaving, Bridget Lundy Payne, Scott, Kid Cudi is his name.
Dude, he's in everything.
Yeah?
He's in Westworld. Now he's in this.
Kristen
Kid Cudi's
Shaw, Anthony Carrigan.
Kid
Who's he
Cudi.
playing Westworld?
What's the guy from Breaking Bad? Jesse. What's his character on Westworld called?
Cal?
The fucking Aaron Paul's character.
Yeah, Cal.
The dude that Aaron Paul killed, or like his partner from the army. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
The dude that wasn't even real. That's Kid Cudi.
Okay.
But he's also a rapper, like famous rapper before he was.
No,
ever
yeah,
an actor.
I know he's a rapper.
Yeah.
So Kid Cudi and a bunch of other people. It opens August 21st in theaters. August 21st in theaters.
That's
which
pretty
means
soon.
that theaters will be open soon. Which
Dude.
I have another article about that coming up. So lots of news today.
Yeah.
So the trailer reveals that Bill S. Preston Esquire and Theodore Logan have not in fact fulfilled their destinies and are in search for their song after 25 years. They were supposed to write a song that united the world. Boy, would we like to have that right now. They end up on a plan to steal it from themselves in the future, which leads to all sorts of hijinks. Bill and Ted Face the Music is directed by Dean Parasot. And here's the official synopsis. I just basically told you that. So they haven't fulfilled their rock and roll destiny, and now in the middle-aged best friends set out on a new adventure when a visitor from the future warns them that only their song can save life as we know it. Along the way, they will be helped by their daughters, a new batch of historical figures, and few music legends to seek the song that will set their world right and bring harmony to the universe. Bill and Ted Face the Music comes out August 21st. Now,
the first thing off the bat for me that I noticed in this trailer was that Keanu Reeves didn't have any facial hair. And I think what's interesting is that without facial hair, this is the first time I've ever seen Keanu, and I'm not saying this like hating on the guy, because I love Keanu as much as anybody does. He's the meme king of 2019. We all love him. But he's finally starting to show his age. You know what I mean? He's starting to look old. And this is the first time I ever saw him. I was like, whoa, Keanu aged.
Yeah.
Just saying, because Keanu's like a Paul Rudd.
Look old in it. Yeah.
He's like a Paul Rudd, where like Paul Rudd literally hasn't aged since Clueless. How? Don't know. Keanu pretty much.
Same age?
I don't know. Well, Paul Rudd is doesn't have it. Paul Rudd clearly defies time, so I don't think he is at age.
I'm gonna find out right now. Keanu Reeves was born in 1964. Paul Rudd is born. I'm waiting for it.
Keanu's finally starting. Wow, the 60s.
So he's a little younger.
Imagine being born in the 60s. Ew. Ugh.
Ew.
But anyway, Keanu's finally starting to look like he was born in the 60s. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Think about it now. We're born in the 80s and look how shitty things are.
Yeah.
If you were born in the 60s, at least you get to fucking do blow in the 80s and fucking party like a rock star.
True. The Mike says the memes caught up with him, so he's wearing old age makeup and hair dye now. You know what I mean, though? He's looked older, though, in this. He looked, like, way older. And to the point where, like the Mike said, he looks like he's wearing makeup. I thought he was wearing makeup to make him look older in the movies.
He might be. You always wear makeup when they make a movie.
But I thought he's wearing, like, old person makeup to make him look old.
He
you know
could be. He could be.
Because, like, maybe their shit, those scenes were, like, in the future or something.
Well, you have to do that stuff so the camera picks it up. So they have to, they're definitely wearing makeup to make them look older.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. I can't speak it. One last thing. I heard he said something about the Matrix 4 too. He said he loves the story of the Matrix 4, and that's the only reason he decided to do it.
Yeah. So before we get off Keanu news,
This is Keanu podcast now, by the way.
Keanu cast. Keanu cast.
Beyond Keanu.
Dude, we should just start
Keanu and Beyond.
We should just start a Keanu Reeves podcast. I told you, you motherfucker. You didn't want to do the Rock podcast, and now somebody else is doing it.
Dude, that's
and
the worst.
I'm so pissed about this.
Dude, that's such a bad idea for a podcast, because then I have
the
to
Rocky
watch.
Maivia picture show.
But then
once a month, you watch a Rock movie from the beginning of his career.
His movies
Guess
are terrible.
what? It's doing better than the Rude Cast.
Fair. That's fair. But you know what? I don't want to watch
what?
rock movies.
I'm sure
I'm
you've seen
fine
lots of
watching his
rock movies.
I'm fine watching his promos, but that means I have to watch like 4 Fast and the Furious movies, and I'm just not down for that. Anyway.
All right, let's just here's the other Keanu Reeves news, and then we'll get off Keanu Reeves' dick. Keanu Reeves and
There's
Carrie
more?
Ann Moss explain. Yeah,
Oh, The Matrix. Go ahead.
yeah. Carrie Ann Moss and Keanu Reeves explain why they returned for The Matrix 4.
It sounded good.
It
It's
sounded
good.
like we could use the money. Yeah, they talked about it. Let's see what Keanu says. Fuck, Carrie Ann Moss said. Lana Wachowski wrote this beautiful script and a wonderful story that resonated with me. The only reason to do it was to work with her again, and it's just amazing. It's been really special, and the story has, I think, some meaningful things to say, and that we can take some nourishment from. Okay, so that's basically why. May 21st, 2021, tentatively. So next year, which isn't that far away at this point, since time moves so slow and so fast at the same time. So we're talking about all these movie stuff. Let's talk about some more movie stuff. So production has begun on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2. So that's cool. That movie was great. Did you watch it?
No.
The cartoon Spider-Man? It's on Netflix, or it was.
It looked too jittery for me. Like I remember seeing the trailers and feeling like it was like at fucking 10 FPS, and I was like, this looks like it's gonna hurt my eyes.
I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I loved it. Probably one of the best Spider-Man movies. October 7th, 2022. So 2022. I guess for video game fans, though, thinking about things that far in advance isn't that crazy. So my allergies are pretty much gone, but I'm still sniffing over here. So we're talking about movies. And finally, California movie theaters can open up at 25% this weekend.
Wow.
So, yep, there is movie theaters in California can reopen for business at a diminished capacity, but many of them will not meet the requirements to do so and will not choose to. THR reports that a new industry guidance documented issued by the state of California has given theaters permission to open at 25% capacity if they meet the strict social distancing measures. The openings would make for the first movie theater to open in the state since the theatrical industry shut down in mid-March due to COVID. The movie comes at the first major openings since March 13th, which would be Tenet in July 17th, Unhinged July 1st, Mulan July 24th, the SpongeBob movie, and in August 14th, the movie that I've been waiting for is Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh yeah, I'd watch that. But
Yeah.
like the DC universe is so fucked. It's just like
But that movie's gonna be good.
it's gonna be good, but it's just like what the fuck? What even universe does it take place in anymore? There's like they have like 4 ongoing cinematic universes. I don't understand. There's like
Yeah,
you know.
I don't understand either, but I'm gonna see that movie because I like movies. To move over to TV, directors confirmed that Obi-Wan Kenobi's Disney Plus series is still happening.
Thank goodness. With
So
Ewan
there was
McGregor.
talks- Yep, there was talks that it wasn't happening, but during a panel discussion of the Mandolorian at the virtual Austin, Texas Television Festival, director Deborah Cho confirmed that Obi-Wan Kenobi series will remain, and it does. You know what? It star Ewan McGregor squashes rumors that the series has been canceled, saying that Lucasfilm is just taking their time to get things right. So,
Can we talk about
happening.
Boba Fett being in the Mandalorian season 2? Because there's a couple of different things on it, right? We know that the actor that played Boba Fett in the fucking
the prequels.
Yeah, but he played Jango Fett, and now he's gonna play Boba Fett, right? The actor that played Jango Fett is now gonna play Boba Fett as
Okay, I got it.
right. But
Understood.
then someone else has been cast in a role that's not going to be Boba Fett, but appears in The Mandalorian Season 2 in Boba Fett's armor. Did I read that right, too, at some point? I forgot who it was, but it's like a big-name actor. And so that leads me to believe, like, that we're going to see Boba Fett, and then maybe Boba Fett gets killed, and then someone steals his armor? Is that right? That's kind of what I was like led to believe based off of what I read. But this was like fucking 3 months ago, and like the coronavirus has happened since then, and all this other shit's been happened since then. So I'm kind of like hazy on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All I know is there's gonna be some kind of Boba Fett armor appearance at the bare minimum in the Mandalorian season 2, and that sounds cool to me. But what I want is I just want the story of how he escaped the Sarlacc's pit. That's all I want.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get it. I mean, is it the season 2 of Mandalorian a prequel?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But
you wanted to drop the knowledge of how he got out of it.
yeah, like I mean, he's sort of, obviously it was stated in one of the Star Wars books that I'm not even sure if it's canon anymore, but at one point it was stated in one of the books that the Sarlacc could not digest the Mandalorian armor, and so it spit him out. So I want to see that. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I'd like to see that. Also, semi-related wrestling news is that Sasha Banks is supposed to be cast in a role for the Mandalorian season 2, and that sounds pretty weird to me. You know, I could see her playing one of remember what is the species in Star Wars that they have like the fucking 2 big tentacles coming off the back of their head?
You're asking the wrong Star Wars fan.
You know
I'm not that big of a Star Wars fan.
You know who I'm talking about though, right? The fucking Jabba the Hutt's dancer. That girl.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I could see Sasha Banks being one of them. You know? Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, do we have any more TV news? I have a little bit of video game stuff.
I wanted to jump back into comic books real quick because I forgot about this and I wanted to talk about it.
Okay.
So Marvel has already gone in the right direction by publicly denouncing police officers' use of the Punisher logo. So this is like a thing for a while. I love the Punisher, and I love Frank Castle, and I love the story of the Punisher. And over the years, I used to have a Punisher hat. I had a Punisher sweatshirt. I never wear them because it was adopted by fucking crazy super right wing and police officers.
Weird.
The Punisher logo. So I'm sure you've seen it on the back of cars. I've seen the Punisher logo with Trump's hair on it. I've seen the Punisher. There's even an Instagram called Punisher Logos. Which is made by the same people who do the Facebook T-shirt one, which is also hilarious. But Marvel has gone in the right direction by publicly denouncing police officers' use of the Punisher logo, and Disney is taking it a step further, and they're going to stop licensing Punisher merchandise. And then the plan is to eventually bring the Punisher merchandise back with trademarking it just so that for merchandise that will raise money for Black Lives Matter and
that's good.
Organizations like that, because police completely miss the mark with what the Punisher is about. And I wanted to drop that in comic book news, and I saw it in my notes and I totally forgot. So there's that. I know that there's video game news. I know that The Last of Us is coming up. So
well, it's not necessarily that. Well, no, The Last of Us is coming out next week in 10 days, but there's not really any news for it. Hold on one second. The big video game news is that tomorrow we're getting the big PlayStation 5 reveal. So,
ooh,
yeah. So, I mean, we're gonna obviously be talking about that next week on the cast.
It's E3. Come early.
It's this coming week actually.
So wait, when was E3 supposed to be?
Next week.
So are we just going to get all that news anyway and just not call it E3, or are they just not going to drop any news?
Pretty much, I think. I think we're just going to get a lot of scattered game trailers, and we're obviously getting the PS5 reveal tomorrow, so that's going to kick things off. I think there's a big Cyberpunk 2077 event presentation that's supposed to be happening. September it's coming out.
Is this a sequel? I feel like this game has been out already.
It's the sequel to a tabletop RPG. So not a video game, but
is this the one that Keanu Reeves is in?
Yes.
Keanu cast.
Yeah, all things Keanu. For all the latest in Keanu, and Keanu.
Wait. So you were telling me a story about the big reveal of this game a while back. About Keanu being like.
Oh yeah,
character.
I think yesterday was actually the 1-year anniversary of the meme. So basically, last year they did So all right, so for our listeners that don't know much about video games or like anything about Cyberpunk 2077, Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that was announced in 2013, probably one of the most hyped games of the not only last decade but this decade. So we're looking at a game that's been in development since 2013, or been announced since 2013, probably been in development before that, probably like 2011 or 2012. And so they go on a long hiatus of no new information of this game. We don't hear anything about it from 2013 to 2018, right? 5-year lapse in any kind of news about the game at all. We've all just been waiting for it to get spoken about. Then all of a sudden in 2018, they drop this crazy fucking trailer. Everybody loses their mind. And then the next year at E3, 2019, we get another crazy trailer where everyone lost their mind. And then at the end of the trailer, it ends with Keanu Reeves, like, at the end of the trailer, and everybody's like, oh my god, that was Keanu Reeves. And then the trailer ends, and then he walks out on stage and then that's how they announced that Keanu's like in the game. And it's not just like a small role, it's a motherfucking huge role. You know what I mean?
Was this before the Norman Reedus reveal of?
No.
That was already out.
Yeah, Death Stranding was already kind of like announced at that point. But yeah, this was like a big deal. And it like that press conference at E3 in 2019 spawned like a fucking year's worth of memes about being breathtaking. When Keanu walked on the stage, someone in the crowd like screamed, "You're breathtaking!" And he was like, "No, you're breathtaking!" And it was like the #1 meme format of 2019. Anyway, so Cyberpunk's coming then, but so I think we're getting a Cyberpunk presentation like probably this month at some point. I don't know what the date is.
And I'm sorry, one more time. That game's coming out in the fall.
September. Yeah. The Mike said so many companies started pulling out of E3 since it went open to the public anyways. Doesn't seem like a big loss. Yeah, I mean, because really, unless you go to E3, like, and if you're just like a consumer of, you know what I mean, you're a customer, you buy video games, like, it doesn't matter if you just get the trailers one way or the other that week. Who gives a fuck if it happens during a stage show presentation or not?
People who go because they want to be part of it. They get to party. There's like a reason to go. That's why.
Yeah. But
it's like the people who go to NAMM. You know what NAMM is? NAMM.
It's like the music
music one.
Yeah.
I never even care. Everyone's like, "Oh, you going to NAMM?" I'm like, "Why the fuck would I go to NAMM?"
It's like
Twitch. You play gear. I'm like, I don't care enough to go.
Right. It's like every industry has their big conference. There's even TwitchCon is a thing. You know what I mean? So things exist. E3 has just become a con for it was an industry convention, you know what I mean, where developers used to go and show off their games to the media and stuff like that, but then it became more about the consumer coming in, and it became like the Comic-Con of video games. You know what I mean? Holy shit.
Like C2E2?
I guess, I don't know. But there's
it's
a
like the
1,000
Chicago version of it.
There's not 1,000, but there's a few different big game conferences every year. Like PAX, Gamescom. Now the Game Awards has become a big platform for game trailers and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna get a few big reveals this week in terms of trailers, and also at this PlayStation 5 event. A lot of people seem to think that we're gonna get a trailer for Horizon Zero Dawn 2, which would be crazy. That's what I'm hoping for. But
didn't Horizon Zero Dawn though take a gazillion years to come out?
No. I mean, if it did, they were developing it under the radar. It was kind of just like one of these things, like, yo, here's a crazy ass game about dinosaurs.
Oh, I'm thinking of the other game.
Or about dinosaurs.
The one in space.
No Man's Sky. Yeah, that game was. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for video game news. I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. Tune into the cast next week to find out about that.
PS5, man. How many years ago did the PS1 come out? Like 1995?
Like 14 years ago, probably.
No, longer.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, you're right. 14 years ago. What the fuck am I talking about? It was in the 90s. Basically, console cycles are usually like 7 years.
Yeah.
There's usually 7. Usually there's 7 years in between.
How long ago did
consoles.
Xbox One come out?
2013.
Really?
Yeah. So did the PS4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still got a 360 somewhere.
Me too.
I don't have my Xbox One anymore. I sold it.
Also, yo, what's up, Chris? I see you down there, buddy. How you doing? AJ quotes and No Man's Sky is trash. Yeah. Can't disagree. Well, I say it was trash at launch, but they fixed it. It's actually good now. But anyway, it's here nor there. Mike, you have any TV, video games, movies, books, and stuff that we'd say before
I had a video game news.
we get
I
into
just
wrestling?
lost it. It was a wrestling video game, a PC
Whoa.
game. Total Extreme Wrestling. I lost
What?
it.
Never heard of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think it just dropped. That's why. Let's see here if I can find it. I know there's a couple wrestling games coming out. There's one that I've been talking about for a bit, that retro wrestling game that looks fucking great. But Shawn Michaels reportedly involved in a heated debate over inequality at NXT TakeOver. Nope, that's definitely not it. Where is this fucking thing? So much news. So much news. Where is it? Oh, somebody from the band Kraftwerk died. You remember that band, Kraftwerk?
Yes. Yes.
Let's see. Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 PC. It got a 9 out of 10. On
Holy
this review.
shit. What is it called?
Yeah. Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 PC only. Let's see here.
Total Extreme Wrestling?
Yep, it's developed by Adam Ryland. It's published by Grey Dog Software. It's PC and genre is text-based simulation. What?
Oh, okay.
What is that? Total Extreme Wrestling series is the longest running text-based wrestling promoter series dating back to the early 2000s and even further back to the freeware Extremeware Deluxe Extremeware Revenge series. What? The premise of the game is simple. You become the owner and or head booker of a professional wrestling company and are responsible for hiring talent, booking matches, negotiating broadcast deals, and become as successful as you can. In other words, you play as Vince McMahon. Everything is done through text. There's no actual wrestling match engine, and the shows consider a lot of variable to get a final grade. The process itself is simple and streamlined, but like all good games, has a lot of depth and is challenging to master. Yeah, that sounds boring as shit.
I'm looking at it right now. It looks boring as shit.
9 out of 10 for boring ass shit. I mean, that's like too much work. When I see a game like that, that is something that is really cool that it exists. But if you're going to put that much work into playing a game, you might as well start your own wrestling company.
True, dude.
You know?
Very true.
That's how I felt about Guitar Hero.
Very true.
I played so much Guitar Hero in college. I was like, why don't I just play actual guitar?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, wrestling news. Wrestling news?
Oh,
wrestling
God, there's
news.
so much fucking wrestling news this week.
Okay, I'll drop some news first.
Go ahead.
So I've been stoked about this news. So end of February, New Japan Pro Wrestling stopped everything. They had all these things that they were happening, that were going on, and they stopped. We missed the New Japan Cup. We already weren't getting the G1 this summer because the Olympics were happening in Japan, so they moved that to the fall. But basically, everything stopped. Unlike WWE and AEW, they didn't tape shows. They didn't do empty arena shows. They just did stuff on their network. I canceled the New Japan Network 2 weeks ago to save money, and the day after I canceled,
They bring it back.
They make an announcement. Hey, we're making an announcement on June 7th or 8th. We're going to make this announcement. So on June 8th, New Japan announced that they are coming back June 15th. They will be back. They're going to do the New Japan Cup.
Crowds or limited crowds? Like, what's the deal?
So I'm going to get there. So they're going to do
Okay.
they're doing no crowds at first. They're going to have just June 15th. They're having a surprise card. They're not going to announce what it is until it starts. It's just going to be a card.
They probably don't know what it is. Yeah, that's why.
well, no. New Japan doesn't fuck around. They already released the brackets for the New Japan Cup.
Okay.
So, in the past, the New Japan Cup has been like only like heavyweight division. This is like every division. There's lightweights, everybody. So, as reported yesterday, which was Tuesday, June 9th, New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced that they will finally return as of June 15th with the beginning of the New Japan Cup, which was postponed due to COVID-19. The company has now announced several guidelines for both fans and wrestlers. So unlike AEW and WWE, we don't really know what they're doing. We've been told that they're cleaning the ring after every match. We've been told that they're testing everybody, which I'm sure they are when they come in.
With like a thermometer. They're fever testing people, maybe.
Yeah.
Temperature testing.
Well, they temperature test, but they swab everybody. at AEW.
Okay.
So,
So
because
says
the
Jim
mobile,
Ross.
because the mobile testing.
Oh,
site
Daly's
is in the
Place
parking-
was Daly's Place
Yeah.
was a testing site. I don't know if it still
Yeah,
is
yeah.
or not.
No, it is. So wrestlers will have their temperatures taken 2 times a day and keep a log of who they were in contact with. If there are symptoms of COVID-19, they have to tell the staff and go into immediate quarantine. There will also be smaller attendance at the venues, and shows will be shorter. All wrestlers and staff have to wear a mask, and there will be logs of how long they were at the venue. They also have to leave the venue after their objectives have been complete, and conversations should be kept at a minimum. Locker rooms will be zoned and have a staggered entry. Each wrestler's food and drink will have their name on it. There will be no buffet style catering. New Japan Pro Wrestling will also individually pack containers for the wrestlers. The ring and ringside will be cleaned and disinfected in between matches. Fans will be allowed to return on July 11th and 12th to Osaka Joe Hall at a 33% capacity. Guidelines are also in place for fans. Fans have to wear a mask and are not allowed to intentionally touch the wrestlers. There also must be no loud cheering.
What?
If symptoms are, I guess, because they don't want spit to fly out of your mouth.
Oh man.
If symptoms are present for 2 weeks after a New Japan match, you must tell New Japan what match you were at and when your symptoms started. So, like, they're fucking taking it seriously.
That's good.
They took it seriously way early on because everybody's asking what they were doing, and they were like, "We will not put our fans and our wrestlers at risk to have like these shows," and and they shut down early. It's Japan's a little bit ahead of us with all this, so that is pretty cool when it comes to New Japan news. They've released the brackets. Some of the matchups are fucking sick. I can't wait for the New Japan Cup, and I will be paying my $10 for New Japan Worlds to get it back. So that's my New Japan news. Other than that, I don't have any other wrestling news. We watched In Your House. In Your House was super
man.
fun. Quick review of In Your House. They nailed the nostalgia. They had Todd Pettengill. It looked cool. The set looked cool. The big thing coming out of it was Keith Lee and Johnny Gargano had a fucking
Best
banger
match
of a
of the
match.
night.
Banger of a match. And then the women's match was also a banger.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything else was just fine. It wasn't bad. It was just whatever.
I gotta say though, I can't let it go unsaid, right? That this was an NXT takeover. This is the first time I've ever seen an NXT takeover where I was just like, it was okay. There was like 2 really great matches and everything else was whatever.
Well,
but
it
that's
was shorter. It was shorter. It was early.
Yes,
and
it was
on a
short and it was
Sunday.
early.
They always
But
do them on Saturday.
this is true. But like NXT takeover, the bar is set extremely high. You know what I mean? Like, dude, this is NXT takeover. They don't fuck around. They put on like they're trying to kill each other out there to have the best match of the night. 5-star matches. And this just felt.
I thought Keith Lee and
They brought it like it was a takeover pay-per-view.
And,
you know what I
dude,
mean?
Damian Priest versus Finn Balor was really good too.
All right. So I must admit, I skipped that match and I skipped the Finn Balor match till the end of the match to see the spot where Damian Priest fell on the stairs. Because with NXT, I don't watch it that much because ever since AEW's come to be a thing, I pledge my allegiance to AEW on Wednesday nights.
You can like both.
You can like both, but there's not enough time to watch both for me.
Sure there is. Sure there is.
There is, but I'm not watching wrestling on a day that there's not wrestling on TV. So, like, Thursday and Tuesday are my nights off from wrestling. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to watch it on Thursday night. I'm just too lazy. So, to me, the better show wins. And to me, it's always AEW. So, with NXT, when I watch takeovers, I skim the matches that I'm not invested in. And, like, okay, Tommaso Ciampa's great, but I don't know who this fucking guy is that he's wrestling, so I don't give a shit about the match, so I'm not going to watch it. You know what I mean? With the Finn Balor match, for example, I've lost all faith in Finn Balor, so I skipped that match. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
But you told me that the stair spot was crazy, so I watched the end of the match. But that said, like, the women's tag match was okay. The Adam Cole Velveteen Dream match was
fucking disaster.
So, like, the thing is, the idea of it on paper was so cool. Like, I love the idea. Like, all right, Velveteen Dream.
There were so many camera cuts. It was terrible lighting. It was a terrible.
No, it was
terrible.
yes, yeah. You know, everything you're saying is absolutely correct. But the concept of it on paper, the ring surrounded by cars with the headlights on, set up just like that scene in The Walking Dead. Velveteen Dream comes out dressed up like Negan. All on paper, this sounds great. Technically, from a production standpoint, it was a fucking mess and it was a disaster. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, it looked like shit. So, like, that was the biggest disappointment of the night. You know, and
Yeah.
so to me, that in tandem with some just okay matches before it, like, it just wasn't it, dude. Like, I think TakeOver used to be held to the highest standards, and this is the first time I watched it, and I just felt like nobody really brought it, including the production. Because, like, I feel like they set that match up, and they took a look around, they were like, fuck, this looks like shit. You know what I mean? But, anyway, that's just my take on it. What other wrestling news? Oh, the beef between Randy Orton and Tommaso Ciampa. This is crazy. Have you heard about this? They've been having...
Yeah. Before we get off of NXT, because it's about that night, I just wanted to say this because we mentioned it. I got really worried. My favorite wrestler of all time, Shawn Michaels, is a producer and a trainer at NXT. Shawn Michaels reportedly involved in a heated debate over inequality at NXT TakeOver. We're gonna follow this story because I'm actually shocked. I was getting ready for Shawn Michaels to be on the wrong end of this one.
Is he?
Fightful Select reports that Shawn Michaels was allegedly involved in a heated backstage debate at NXT TakeOver in Your House with another producer. The argument, which happened before the event went on air, was about the ongoing protests over the death of George Floyd, police brutality, and racial inequality. The producer claimed that everyone gets treated the same, and Michaels disagreed and got upset over it. He gave an explanation about inequality and systemic racism in America and in wrestling. And while he was angry, he remained professional. Most of the wrestlers didn't find out about the situation until Monday, so there may not have been many witnesses at the time. HBK and the producer worked together after the argument without incident. So I am proud of Shawn Michaels for that one because I was getting ready for Shawn Michaels to be a crazy Texas.
Yeah,
racist,
Texas, born again Christian. Like it was lining up to be not so good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, not at all.
Little nervous there.
Not at all. But yeah, Shawn Michaels with his crooked ass eye, fucking fighting for equality for everybody.
Yeah, that's good. Good for him.
Yeah. Dude, talking about Shawn Michaels, man, that Ric Flair 24 that aired after TakeOver was fucking great, and it was all about his last match with Shawn Michaels. It's really good.
That was such a good match.
I'm sorry, I love you, and all that.
Yeah.
Dude, Shawn Michaels carried the shit out of that match, but Ric Flair did really well also.
Yeah.
He should have just stopped wrestling at that point. Not Shawn. Rickard.
More drama out of the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. Randy Orton criticized it. I forgot what he said, but it was something.
Slapping?
Yeah, and so for folks who don't understand what he means by leg slap, he's talking about.
Read what he said. Do you have?
I don't have the tweets in front of me, but the leg slap was a reference to NXT wrestlers and indie wrestlers slapping their legs when they super kick people. You know what I mean, or like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how it's just overdone and that kind of a thing. And he criticized NXT for one reason or the other. I don't have the article in front of me, but he started it, and then Tommaso Ciampa responded, basically saying that Randy Orton's matches put his kid to sleep. And then Randy Orton went back at him and basically said Tommaso Ciampa's the locker room leader of a wrestling school. So a little bit of a back and forth there between Randy Orton and Tommaso Ciampa. I heard Vince McMahon caught wind of this, and he's pissed at both of them because Vince McMahon has this thing where he doesn't like it when wrestlers start beefs with each other on Twitter when WWE has no intentions of making a match between the two people. So he doesn't like people trying to make their own matches and stuff like that, which I understand. I get that. You know what I mean? You're playing a character on and offline in pro wrestling in 2020, and like Seth Rollins calling out CM Punk. That got a lot of people hopeful that like CM Punk and Seth Rollins was going to happen at WrestleMania. Didn't happen, never is going to happen. You know what I mean? But it led a bunch of people on. And that's why I think this is one of the rare instances where I see Vince McMahon's perspective on things.
I agree with that too. It's tough because how are you going to start a fight and then,
and then not do it.
Reading in Jim Ross's book, that was a big part of it too. Jim Ross got picked on a lot in WWE
Yeah.
and was made fun of. And he's like, I'm an announcer. Nobody wants to see me fight. So
Right.
you're giving me sympathy as like this super baby face, and I'm never going to be able to fight back against anybody.
Right.
So like it's you're creating a feud that doesn't do anything. Same thing with like when Michael Cole was like a super heel, and it was like nobody wants to see the announcer fight.
Oh, and Mets just brought up Backlash. Backlash is on Sunday. We could do.
Oh God, I guess we should do a prediction show.
Yeah,
I don't know any matches other than this is the greatest show. Yo, what is that about? So Backlash is this Sunday. They've been promoting Randy Orton versus Edge in the greatest match of all time, the dumbest idea ever in the history of wrestling to say something.
I agree.
Ever, especially when no one's going to be there. But they use this video package where it's visceral and angry and ooh, we hate each other and blah 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 blah. And then like it at the end of it, it cuts to fucking the Greatest Show theme song from the movie The Greatest Showman. It's like, this is the greatest show.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is completely tone deaf. Completely tone deaf.
Yeah.
Pull up the card for Backlash. While you're pulling up the card for
Okay.
Backlash, I'm going to run through NXT and AEW for tonight real quick.
Okay, cool.
So Fallout from TakeOver tonight. We have Adam Cole versus Dexter Lumis, who's that creepy guy who's basically like Dexter. Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. Karrion Kross and Scarlett to appear, and that's all we have for NXT. Dynamite tonight is kind of just like a regular show. They're not building towards anything just yet, but it looks like it's going to be a fun show. We got Chris Jericho returns to commentary. Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford. Jake Hager, Santana, and Ortiz versus the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy, which I think is really interesting too, because I'm pretty sure they're building to Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho at Fyter Fest. Like that's going to be the big.
Oh, I thought they were building towards Mike Tyson.
I don't think so. I think Mike Tyson's going to have Orange Cassidy fight for him. Like I think it's going to be something like that. I just feel it.
I hope so, because I don't see why Mike Tyson should be taking up somebody's fucking time.
I'm also excited about that too, because Santana and Ortiz are a great tag team, and they feel like they never get to wrestle. Same thing with like Jake Hager.
They were on Dark last night.
Yeah, Dark was all right last night. I had it going. Colt Cabana versus Sammy Guevara should be fun. We have FTR making their debut against
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara.
Can I just say, really quick, Sammy Guevara has my favorite theme song in wrestling ever, because listen to Sammy Guevara's theme song from AEW, and the rapper that raps the song he wrote like 4 lines, and what happens is like it's a full verse, and then for the second verse and the chorus, he just mixed up words from the first 4 lines that he wrote. It's like, Sammy Guevara, greatest to ever do it to ever greatest. Like, he literally just says words out of order that just make no sense. You know what I mean? Listen to it. It's hilarious.
Sammy Guevara is by far, from the debut of AEW Dynamite, him and Darby Allin are the two, and MJF are the stars that have risen the highest.
Yeah.
Sammy Guevara is great. So FTR, they'll be fighting Butcher the Blade, which is exciting. And then Cody will be fighting Mark Quinn from Private Party in a TNT championship match.
Okay.
Now, I wonder if Cody's matches are going to be closing the show every week since he's doing this open challenge. Because I think FTR versus the Butcher and the Blade could be a closing match tonight.
It's FTR's first match. They kind of should get the spotlight. I don't think Cody Rhodes is going to close every show. I don't think he's that much of a narcissist. But
it builds up the title.
It does. It does. So we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I'll be happy with it regardless. But it looks like it's just going to be a fun show overall. Nothing like major lined up, but definitely different and fun. I can't wait till they get the full roster back, man. I miss a lot of like Pac and Pentagon and Phoenix and I feel like there's a lot of people that aren't really there.
Yeah, Pac is the biggest void. Like, that is a pretty big void in the card. You know what I mean? Like, that guy is probably, dude. I mean, he's probably the most athletic person on the card and the roster.
And he's like a huge heel.
Yeah, he's a huge heel, most athletic, and
I would like Phoenix and Pentagon to be rebranded. I know that they're branded as heels with Pac. I feel like those dudes are just supposed to be faces. Like
Death Triangle thing just probably shouldn't have worked. It probably shouldn't have been a thing. So hopefully
it never really became a thing.
Yeah. So hopefully they just kind of abandon that.
But it's really tough though, because Phoenix wrestles like a super baby face and Pentagon wrestles like a heel.
Yeah.
So it's really hard that they're together. And I would love for them to go on a tag team run and then eventually break up and have like a brother blood feud.
That'll be
'Cause they would have
amazing. That'll
they'd
be
have a sick
amazing.
match.
If they
'Cause
break up the Lucha Brothers.
They've had great matches in fucking in Lucha Underground.
Fuck, dude. Okay.
Like really good. Them and
Wow.
Ricochet had like a great feud going.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's that for tonight. Let's preview Backlash.
Bang out these backlash
Dude,
predictions.
I
got
one
the card.
match for Backlash. You got to do it. Let me get the paper.
Okay.
Is Dickhead in the chat?
Yo, Mets, are you there? Easy. Mets gifted 5 subs yesterday. We got to be nice to him.
Sorry, Mets.
We love you, Mets.
I know Mets. That's all with love.
Pen and paper. He's got it. Okay. Let me know when you're ready, Terry.
You know what's funny? Every week we have a pay-per-view and we fucking do this where we give our predictions. They fucking add like 3 matches the night of the show.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
All right. Yeah. Card, matches could change here. All right. But this is the card as it stands.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, go for it.
Okay, so I'm just going to go in the order that it's listed. This is from GameSpot.com, and the reason why I chose GameSpot was because they have
GameSpot.
Yeah, because they have the most current list. The other list from like CBS was from like the day before Raw. So
CBS, why don't you try like a wrestling website?
because this is the most current one. Everything else, I literally went down and looked at the dates, and everything's from like a week ago. So this this is the one that was updated today. So
I feel like all right.
So, but SmackDown is on Friday, so things could change. But anyway, so
fucking SmackDown. Hey, did Matt Riddle debut on SmackDown yet?
No, they're just running promos. I think he's going to debut at Backlash or at the SmackDown after Backlash. So anyway, first match that's listed for the United States Championship. United States Champion Apollo Crews defends against Andrade.
Ooh.
I got Apollo Crews. I'm going Apollo Crews all day. He just won the title. There is no way he's dropping it right now.
Wasn't Kevin Owens in this match?
No. He wrestled Kevin Owens like a couple of weeks ago, but I think there was like a match to determine who was gonna be the number 1 contender, and I think Andrade won. That's what it was. It was a fatal 4-way.
Andrade because WWE hates Apollo Crews, and I feel like that stable of Zelina Vega and Andrade and Humberto, I feel like they need some gold.
Well, the only reason why I say no is because Andrade just lost the title to Apollo like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he lost it?
He lost the title, and Apollo just got new theme music. So that's usually a sign that they're going to push somebody. So that's why I'm going Apollo.
I'm changing mine then. I literally have not watched Raw or SmackDown in so long. So
Yeah. So I'm going Apollo. Mets says Apollo. He's staying with it. Yeah, it's like a no-brainer.
Look at you, Apollo. All right.
Okay. Bailey. You ready? Or are you still writing down?
Bailey and Sasha.
Bailey and Sasha defend the WWE Women's Championship in a triple threat tag team match. Against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross and the Iconics.
Iconics.
Do we know if there is a pay-per-view between Backlash and SummerSlam?
There probably is.
So, okay.
I don't think they're losing it yet.
I don't think so either. I thought Bailey and Sasha Banks were going to drop the titles, but
they just won them also, right?
They just won them, but I believe that the only reason they put the titles on them in the first place was so that when they lose them, this can now start the beef between Sasha and Bailey, where Bailey can blame the loss on Sasha, Sasha Banks can fire back with whatever, and then all of a sudden the hacker can show up and show some footage of Bailey talking shit about Sasha Banks behind her back. You know what I mean? And then boom, there's your SummerSlam match. But if they do it now, it's gonna be too soon, and they're gonna end up blowing their load 1 month too early and have the match before SummerSlam, and it's gonna ruin SummerSlam. So I think they lose the titles at the next pay-per-view. I'm going Sasha Banks and Bailey.
Yeah, I got them too. I think they're gonna when they lose the titles, they're gonna fucking go crazy on each other, and blame each other and just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's a long time coming. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
Wait, Mets, what you got, bud?
He didn't answer. Time waits.
We might be delayed, so just send them in when you get them.
Yeah, we'll update it when he says I love Bailey and Sasha, but heck, Backlash. He says Iconics.
Iconics. I love the Iconics also. I'm glad that they're building them back up.
Yeah,
because they're like the best heels.
Iconic. Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
Oh man, two people I haven't seen wrestle in forever. Sheamus, like, they have a crazy storyline going on right now about Jeff Hardy being drunk or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's pretty exploitative and terrible. I think I'm gonna go with Sheamus because I think they're just actually making a mockery out of Jeff Hardy right now as punishment for Matt going to AEW.
So you're saying Sheamus?
Yes, I think they're shaming Matt Hardy right now. No pun intended.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm saying Sheamus also because I feel like Sheamus needs the win. I feel like Sheamus can always use the win.
Yep.
I remember Sheamus was like a monster heel back when he first started.
Yeah, man. And you know what, though? My favorite era of Sheamus was the Bar. When the Bar was really good. There was a point where the Bar got overexposed when they had the tag team titles for way too long. But the Bar, like in the beginning and when they got going on a roll, the Bar was really good. We don't just set the bar. We are the bar. That shit was great. I'm
happy Cesaro is still there.
Yeah, even though they're using him pretty poorly.
Yeah, well, they've always used him pretty poorly.
Yeah, Cesaro section, dude. Mets has Hardy. Okay, next, Asuka versus Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship.
Oh, Christ.
If Asuka makes it out of this match without injuring her spinal cord or something worse, Asuka wins, no doubt.
She needs to win because they made her look like a fool on Raw.
Yeah. She
lost. They lost the tag match in the beginning, and Charlotte fucking bitched her out. And then at the end, she fought, and Nia Jax ruined a perfectly good match, because WWE doesn't know how to book a match with having their champion look strong.
I know.
Fucking the whole time we're being told that Asuka is a killer for finally building her back up, and they made her look like a fool twice on Monday. Twice.
I agree with you, but to play devil's advocate here, Met says Asuka. Asuka will win, and then Raw is going to put the belt on Charlotte again. I disagree wholeheartedly with that. This is what I think they're doing, okay? Asuka is going to get built up to be the Empress of today. She was the Empress of tomorrow. Now she's going to be the Empress of today. This is what they're doing. Nia Jax gets fucking rolled by Asuka. Asuka wins. Then, Asuka's going to feud with Charlotte Flair for the next 2 months. This is what happens. On Raw, they kept talking about it over and over and over again that Asuka has the great Asuka. She's accomplished all these things. NXT Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion, Raw Women's Champion, first ever Royal Rumble winner. Female Royal Rumble winner, like a bing boop, right? But she has never beaten Charlotte Flair. They were hammering that home on Monday. They wouldn't stop talking about it, and she lost because of Nia Jax. So they obviously did that to get heat onto Nia Jax, but also to build up the story for next month and the month after when she enters her feud with Asuka, that Asuka still hasn't beaten her. So when they wrestle on pay-per-view, it's going to be a big deal when it finally does happen, when Asuka when Asuka finally does beat her at SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying?
That's great, but it's still...
They have to... I get why I think it's stupid that they made their champion look bad, but I get what they're attempting to do. They're trying to stack the odds against her to make Charlotte look impossible for Asuka to beat. So when she does it, it looks like Asuka fucking overcame the odds. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So in the end, I think they're actually trying to build Asuka up by doing this. They're just trying to drag her down a peg before they build her back up again. That's what you know what I'm saying? In their
I get it.
Twisted WWE logic, you know, but I think
they're just really bad at building people up, though.
I hope
I don't trust it. Your logic makes sense, but doesn't mean it's their logic.
Right. I'm not saying it's right. There's better ways to do it, but I think that's what they're going for. I could be wrong though.
Yeah.
So I got Asuka all day. Next match.
I have Asuka also.
Also, I'd be remiss not to mention that on Raw on Monday in a backstage segment, Asuka slapped the soul out of Charlotte Flair. If you missed this, go type in Asuka. Asuka slaps Charlotte on YouTube. It's so good. She slapped the shit out of her.
Mets, you were completely wrong in the chat about Asuka is just a placeholder.
He's so wrong. It doesn't matter.
She's carrying everything through fucking the pandemic. She has been the show.
You're a placeholder, man. AJ said you're a placeholder. Next, Braun Strowman. I forgot about this match. This is going to be a shit show.
He's still there?
Yeah, Braun Strowman, WWE Universal Champion, versus The Miz.
He's the champion still?
He's the Blue Universal Champion. And he's going to be facing The Miz and John Morrison in a handicap match where he will undoubtedly win. I'm going Braun Strowman.
This is terrible.
Yeah.
Poor Miz and Morrison.
Yeah.
Hey, is this the first WWE pay-per-view since pandemic that we're not having a cinematic match? Is there not a cinematic match in this?
No. I mean, there might be like a surprise one. You know, like one of the matches might turn out to be like, oh, surprise! It took place on a movie set. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
I could see the I don't know. I could see the Jeff Hardy and Sheamus match doing that. You know what I mean?
I think Braun and Miz and Morrison is going to be a fucking 5-minute match. It's not going to be long.
Yeah. Braun Strowman flipped the fucking a gigantic van over on SmackDown on Friday. It was kind of stupid. It was like the first time in a while that they did a spot like that for him. Next up, Strowman wins.
Yep. I got it.
Next up, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre wins. It's too soon to take the title off of him.
I mean, they're building up Bobby Lashley pretty good, though.
They actually, for the first time ever, I think they're actually using Bobby Lashley pretty well. I like that on Raw, he no-sold. He basically no-sold the Claymore, which was...
He just rolled out.
Yeah, like he flipped over the ropes.
Roll out.
He flipped over the ropes onto the outside, but then he didn't even fall over. He just like walked it off. And right. I think that's so smart because the way that we saw just around WrestleMania time, how the fucking Claymore was like goddamn kryptonite for Brock Lesnar. So this makes makes Bobby Lashley look really strong. So I thought that was actually really smart that he no-sold the Claymore. But doesn't matter. Drew McIntyre is going to win. It's too soon to take the title off of him. I think everybody can agree.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 matches?
Yeah.
So
No, wait. Edge and Randy Orton. In the greatest
match
wrestling match ever.
Ever!
Yeah.
Dude. Okay, number one, if you want to build to the greatest match ever, let me write it down first. Edge versus Randall. Okay.
I should also say before, because I know you don't watch it all the time. I know you don't watch Raw Weekly and stuff like that. I should say that the story is that Edge is kind of not confident that it's going to be the greatest match ever. The story is that he doesn't believe in himself. You know what I'm saying? And so he's kind of
fucking great. Okay, so
you know what I'm saying though. The story is that he's mad, he's upset, kind of.
Who said it was going to be the greatest match ever? Who said it first?
WWE.
No.
No wrestler said it was. Michael Todd Phillips.
Todd, or like Dasha or somebody, right? Or not Dasha. A backstage announcer said it first.
I don't know. It was one of the WWE announcers. It was not one of the wrestlers, though. It's just branding.
If you're going to brand something the greatest match ever in all of wrestling, wouldn't you want that match to be at the biggest show of the year of WrestleMania?
You'd think.
And if you're going to be a psychopath about it and you want to build it up for 8 months, now would be the time to do so. And be like, next WrestleMania, we're having the greatest match ever. You know, it will everybody knows it'll never live up to the hype because it's a year long of hype.
Yeah.
This is, hey, we're gonna have the greatest match ever, and no one's gonna be there, and nobody like it's hyperbole to the max.
A match that you would build as like the greatest match ever, at least by like WWE standards, would be something like remember that year that The Rock wrestled John Cena and they announced the match a year out. Remember that? There was a year build up towards that match. That's something you would brand as the greatest match ever, right? Or like if CM Punk came back and wrestled fucking never mind. You know, you get what I'm saying? This is not the greatest match ever.
Yeah, it's not, especially because we just had their shitty ass match at WrestleMania.
Yeah. So and I think it's kind of stupid.
I would be surprised if this match doesn't end in a quick RKO or a quick spear.
Well, I think Randy Orton's gonna win because
if it's great in the sense of that it's really short because their last match was really long, and it was so great. It was so great that it was only one move. Like I would think that's interesting. You know,
RKO out of nowhere, man.
I would be surprised that they didn't try to promote it the kind of the way that FTR is promoting their fight with
Young Bucks.
the Young Bucks, and they're like
The Bucks of Youth.
They're saying it's going to be the greatest wrestling match. They're like, we're not here to have the greatest wrestling match. We're here to just beat you.
Yeah.
That's what Randy Orton should be saying in these promos. It's like, yeah, you might, the people might think they're having the greatest wrestling match, but it's going to be over so quick because I'm going to destroy you, Edge. Like, that's what you should do.
I got Randy Orton.
Because it takes the expectation off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Edge has been taking the expectations off himself. He's like, I don't know if I still got it.
It was. Everybody knew how stupid it was.
Yeah. It's so dumb. Either way, I'm going with Randy Orton because I think this is going to be a best of 3, and Edge won at WrestleMania. And if they're going to do it again at SummerSlam, I think Edge is going to come out on top in the final match of this feud, and I don't think this is it.
I agree. I also put Randall down, and I see Metz has Edge because he's dumb.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. Predictions in.
We got our predictions in. We're about an hour and a half into the show. There's been a jam-packed week of news and things going on. Guys, thanks so much for spending time with us out there. Please be safe. Please follow us at all of our social media at facebook.com/RuduCast, Twitter and Instagram at TheRuduCast. Find us every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/man_Deronius. That's MAN_DARRONIOUS. It's your boy BMT. That's Dr. Dan, the man, Dr. Showstopper. We are the RuduCast. Thanks for spending time with us in the Twitch chat. We'll be on YouTube in a couple days. Wherever you find your podcast, please be safe. If wear a fucking mask in public, there's still a virus going on. Fight for what you believe in. We love you. Stay safe. And that's all I got. It's been a fun show. This has been my favorite show of quarantine so far. And I'll say that.
Deuces and gooses.